If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening, and welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, but tonight we have a special edition show of our program. That means we're going to be hanging and spending some time with my favorite two people, Moments with Lady K and Mr. T. Welcome, Mr. T.
What's up, Lady K? How are you doing? It's so great to be here with you again.
Oh, I'm excited. It has just been an amazing weekend, which we'll talk about shortly. But I do want to mention very quickly that our show topic for tonight is Speak Up. What is really on your mind? Uh-oh.
Hey.
Ooh, it's going to be a good one. Hot topic. Exactly. But before we get started and having our amazing topic discussion, let's tell the listeners just a little bit about ourselves and what we got going on.
All right. Well, Lady K, you want to go first or shall I?
You know what? I think I'm going to jump in tonight because I'm just so excited. I got to spill the beans. Spill the beans. And
you got some good beans to spill.
I do. The month of June ended in a phenomenal way for me, and I'm just really excited. So I just really want to share this with everybody. And I'm sure there's many people who do know, but there's a lot of listeners out who do not know that I am an author. And being that I am an author, I over the weekend was very fortunate to win Author of the Year award for social awareness for my book, memoir, Deception of the Heart, A Real Look Into Domestic Violence. And it's just exciting. And I felt like I was at the Oscars. But the thing that I think that excited me more about knowing that I won was the fact that there was 1,800 nominations. And out of 1,800 nominations, 150 of us were finalists. And out of 150, 20 of us were winners. And I was one of those. So I was just like, no way.
Yes. And you look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you.
Always.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a special night. It was a really long evening, pretty much long day, but it was definitely worth the drive. It was worth, the anxiety that you build up waiting for this, because we've known, as finalists, we've known about this since January. So that's a long time to sit down and wait to see whether or not you've actually won.
Yeah. I'm like, January? I remember we talked about it before, and like, January, that's like the whole year so far. So
pretty much.
You've been on pins and needles for like the last 6 months.
Exactly. And the thing is, I have to give it to the executive producer. I mean, Ty, when I say there was no beans spilled in any way, shape, or form from anybody who was working behind the background and behind the scenes of the ILA Awards, I mean, it's the Indie Author Legacy Awards. They did a phenomenal job. It was my first opportunity to be a part of a bunch of elite, amazing authors in that room. And the stories that you heard and the people that you've seen, the things that they had accomplished, I definitely felt special. I felt like I said, I was in a mini Oscars, but this was even better. That was the one big thing I really wanted to share. And beyond that, like most people know, I am the CEO and founder of the Women's Small Business Initiative, LLC, and of author Kimberly and Macklemore, LLC. And I have a couple of podcast shows and a few other things going on. But besides talking about me, this takes up half of our bit of the evening. let's dive into what's going on with you, and then tell the listeners a little bit about yourself there, Mr. T.
All right. Well, I definitely can't top that. And by the way, I just want to add that award that you got, not only is it significant on so many levels, but it's really pretty too.
It is. It's all glass. I have to bring it so you can see it live. I mean, yeah, it's stunning piece of glass, and the way that they designed it, and the wording and everything. Like I said, it is actually a real award. I mean, it's heavy, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my little exercise with my little award over here.
But it was so pretty. Like, I was looking at it in the pictures, and I was like, oh my God, that is so pretty. Like, I would love to have that, but my name is not the one that's on that. So, so I was like, I can't have that, but it's yours, and it is wonderful, and it is gorgeous. You can just put a little light behind that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I have my little table, for awards now. So this is my second one, but this is the biggest one that I have ever won so far. So now, this is the beginning of a new beginning when it comes to reaching, for awards and people actually recognizing you. And the thing that I think that amazed me the most about the process of how they made their decisions on the winners, they didn't go by the votes that people provided. They really, truly, legitimately looked up each individual, made sure that the books were real, legitimate, and they actually seen what they were doing within the community. They actually did their background check on every single one of us. And that's a huge amount of work to do for 1,800 people, and then get it down to 150 and then down to 20. That's a huge, huge, huge amount of work. So we all were applauding them for just that effort to let people really know that there was nothing rigged here. It didn't matter what other people say. They truly had a panel of individuals that went through every single one of those books.
Wow. I had no idea. I really had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either. We just assumed that, once you're nominated, it's great, but I didn't know how many people actually voted, but that we actually thought that was just how they actually determined, and it had nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, cool. Which even made you feel more special.
Indeed. And by the way, just in case our listeners didn't catch it, because, as you were talking, like in the beginning, did y'all hear her say, I have a table for my awards? I want to be able to do that when they're like, I have a whole place. I am wishing for you that you have to dedicate a room, a space that's bigger than that table, Kimberly. Lady K.
Thank you.
So you said,
I'm building
my award room right in here. I don't have them out here where I can see them. I have to come in here every day just to look at them. So, that's awesome, though. That's so awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely, opened up my eyes, and it's absolutely made me realize that the things that I'm doing to help others learn how to rewrite their story and teach themselves that they are much bigger than who they think they are and that they have purpose. I'm definitely on the right track, and I know that all this hard work that I have been preparing myself for, I did not know this is the direction it was going to go. But we know, though, we're going to talk about you because we know you an author, too, and we're going to make you get your first book out there so I can get you an award up in your shelf at your house, right?
Right. That's coming. It's on the pipeline.
That's right.
Oh, what about me? Who wants to know about me other than my dog? And sometimes he don't even want to know about me. Well,
Pepper love you.
He does. So for our listeners, new and old out there in listener land, I am Mr. T, and I am a proud doggy daddy most of the time of a wonderful Shih Tzu. His name is Pepper, aka Dr. Pepper. Sometimes I call him Dr. Pepper because he stands up on his hind legs and he looks at you like he's a little man.
Oh my God!
And he had the nerve to come back from the groomer the other day with a little bow tie on, and you could tell he was like, "Oh yeah, He was smelling himself, but not like dogs smell themselves. You could tell he was
right.
yeah, I look good, I smell good, I look good, I feel good. And so I also call him Pooh. I don't know why I call him Pooh, but it just started. I guess because his name is Pepper. But he answers to Pepper, Dr. Pepper, Pooh, Pepperoni. And then I got his government name. I'm not gonna put that out on the air. And I can go on record as saying, since the last time we were on the show, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I can confirm that my dog is a member of the Beehive.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
If I say Beyonce, his head whips around so fast, or he'll look up at you if you're standing up. So my dog is officially a card-carrying member of the Beehive. So Beyonce, if you're out there and you're listening, which you probably aren't, just know my dog Pepper might be responsible for all those bees when people start saying stuff about you, because my dog loves you as much as I do.
Well, then I guess you need to get a Beehive bow tie for Pepper.
I'm going to have to do that. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to do that.
Yes.
Great idea. Other than that, I am a doggy daddy. Like I say, I'm a doggy daddy. I'm a professional working person here in the DMV, and I'm also a fitness instructor by night, motivator, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I love my students. I'm the owner and operator of Move with T here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's MOVEWITHTEE. And my folks that come to my classes, I call them my movers and shakers. So any of y'all out there listening, shout out to y'all. What up, my movers and shakers? It doesn't matter whether we're doing dance fitness, whether we're cycling, whether we're doing a HIIT program. We're moving, we're shaking, we're moving, we're grooving, and we're having fun while we do it. And I try to give them an inspirational something each and every time. So that's a little bit about me for those out there listening.
That's right. And we got a lot of great events coming up soon. So we're going to be talking about those here in a second. But we really want to dive into this great topic this evening. Oh
yeah.
Woo, speak up. What's really on your mind? Now that's it could be a very broad category of conversation here. But I'm going to let you dive in and tell me what your thoughts is on a topic like this. And then I'm going to dive in and give you my 2 cents.
You always let me go first, and then I'll talk for like 20 minutes.
Okay. You know me. Okay, well, look, I'm going to give you, you get 5-minute timeline and see what you can come up with in 5 minutes.
And I got my notes here. Oh, my gosh.
He's ready tonight.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Y'all, he is ready tonight, listeners. Oh, here we go.
Okay, well.
Get your listening ears on, people.
Hey, I'm getting ready to speak up.
There you go.
Tell you what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, when you shared this topic, I was like, yeah, this is what's up. And I took it on so many levels. First thing I thought of was Free Your Mind by In Vogue, which was not speak up or speak your mind. But I was thinking about speak your mind, tell your truth. Part of where I came from was thinking about speaking your truth and being who you are, being authentically yourself. But then I started to think a little bit more, and I actually had something happen this weekend that I didn't tell you about on purpose so I could share it with you. It was actually Saturday, and I went to go get new tires put on my car. And while they were doing the new tires, and yes, y'all, it did cost me a grip, but I'm all right. I made it through. Um, I told the folks I was going to wait. I said, I'm going to go next door to the little restaurant next door. It's a little fast food place. I don't want to say their name because they're not giving us no money. So
Right.
I don't want to shamelessly plug them.
So sponsorship will not be done tonight, okay?
Not today. We're gonna speak that's what's on our mind for today. Sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to pay us, you can pay us, and I'll say your name as much as you want to. But literally, this place was like right next door, and I went in. Like I said, it was a fast food place. It was lunchtime. I was like, I need to get some lunch because I missed my breakfast. Didn't teach my normal cycle class, so I could go out and get some errands done that I needed to get done. And so I'm sitting there, and like when I get there, it's packed. There's lots of people there. There's no issues. There's this older, I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's this older white man sitting like to my left, but kind of in my periphery. And he's talking to different people. He even stops this pregnant woman, and she has like a boot on her leg. The reason why I remember that is because she was like in front of me, and not a boot for like a cowboy boot, but a boot for stability because she might have injured her ankle or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I just remember her because she was in front of me in line. But he stopped her to talk to her, and he joked with her about, she said, he was like, I see you're expecting. And she was like, oh, yeah. He was like, me too, but mine never goes away because this man was not fit at all. We're all in different levels of health, but he was not fit at all. Not saying anything about anybody, but I'm just saying he wasn't. Just painting the picture. So, the time goes on, and I'm still waiting for my car to be done because it's only been like maybe 20 minutes or so, maybe 30 minutes pass. And then a little bit more time passes, and I see the manager of the restaurant come over and talk to me. Like he called her over. And like I said, this was an older white man, maybe I'm going to say early to mid 70s. And she was a younger Latina woman. She was probably about my age. And I had my headphones in because I was like, I don't want to be bothered by anybody. And they're talking. And then I see her body language start changing and shifting. Like she's physically backing away from him. She's lowering her shoulders. And I see she's trying to deflate whatever situation or de-escalate whatever situation is going on. So I pop one of my earbuds out, the one that's on the side where they are. And I'm listening to the conversation. And he was like fussing about it being too cold in there. Now, it was very hot in the area at the time. And matter of fact, I think it was like 98 degrees at one point. But it was very cool inside. I had on shorts and a t-shirt, and I was getting goosebumps. And he had on like a polo shirt and jeans, and he's complaining about it being too cold. And actually, no, I'm sorry. He was complaining about it being too hot, being too warm. Mm-hmm. And I even say to him, I was like, well, because I jumped in at one point when I'm watching her body language, and I said, ma'am, the temperature is actually very fine in here. I'm getting goosebumps now. So it's actually pretty chilly in here. So I don't know why he's complaining about it being so warm. And now, literally, when I sat down, there were lots of bodies in there, kids running around. He wasn't complaining. There were no issues. There were like maybe 4 people in there, aside from the staff behind in the back. So I'm like, there's no way that you're going to feel like you're warmer now when there are less bodies present. So I jump in, and then some of his language started to go negatively regarding her race. I won't go into specifics.
Oh wow!
I felt like it was definitely escalating to that place, and I was like I said, I jumped in and I said what I had to say, and I don't know if it was because I'm a man or not, but because I just jumped in, like it definitely helped to de-escalate their situation. But I had to let him know. I was like, sir, you got a couple options available to you if it's too warm. I said, number 1, you can leave. Number 2, you can maybe you have a medical issue going on right now, which is why you're feeling warm. You should go to urgent care or to an emergency room. And he started, and I did mention I'm a healthcare professional. And he was like, oh, well, it means so much to me from you saying that you're a healthcare professional, blah, 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 blah. And it kind of changed him. And I'm not giving him a medical diagnosis at all. I'm just saying if you're having an issue, you should maybe leave. And I also shared, if the environment wasn't working for him, he can go anywhere else, like his house. where the temperature would be perfectly moderate. In the end, things worked out okay. Like the manager was able to go back to resume her duties. By the time I left, he had stopped complaining, but it was just me having to kind of jump in and check this man, because there was no reason for him to start trying to berate her, because she was telling him like she doesn't control the temperature. It's controlled by like some central location or whatever, which is probably the case or whatever. And even if it's not, what difference does it make? It's hot outside. It's like 98 degrees.
Right, exactly.
If it's too warm in here for you now at 60 degrees, go outside and tell me it's warm. So I spoke up, and as a human, I grappled with it for a moment, and I have to be honest. I was like, should I say something? 20 years ago, I probably would have been quiet and just minded my business, because she was the manager. It's her job as manager to handle that situation. But I also knew what he was doing and where he was going was wrong. And I was like, no. And I have to say, in this society, in this climate that we live in, there's a lot of people who are not as melanated as the rest of us, kind of feel like they have the license to be able to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. They feel emboldened in so many ways. And we got to check them when we can. Right. And be like, no. This is not permissible. You can't do this. You're not going to do this. Right. And move forward from there. So that was my experience this weekend. And people say, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? I said, well, I toured off an old white man. So I'm like, that's what I did. So I had some other examples of speaking up, but I'll save those for another time.
Yeah, but your example is profound, because it's exactly what we see every day and hear about every day, because we're living in a world in a time where we have our leadership from the top, our commander-in-chief who runs around and berates and belittles people 24/7, says what he wants to say, and people won't speak up. People won't tell him you're wrong. And so every day you have more and more individuals who will consistently come out and start saying what they feel, what they think. They don't care. They think that they have somebody who's backing them up in the background and is going to save them. And at the end of the day, that's really not the truth. But it also it shows that we have a lot of cowards out here that we see that are, running rampant. And just in our regular daily lives, whether it's at work, whether it's home, there's times where you just have to know when to speak up and say what's on your mind. Obviously, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. You can be as professional as you can possibly be. And then sometimes there's people who can only, respond to a certain level. And like I always tell people, sometimes you got to bring that ignorance out. Sometimes you got to bring that street out, because people will take your kindness for granted, because they assume that they can walk all over you because you're a decent person. And one thing, if people will know about me, who know of me, I am the kindest, sweetest person in the world. But when you overstep your boundaries with me, I have no problem with speaking up. I have no problem with letting you know what is on my mind. You may not like what I say, and that's perfectly fine. But I am all about respect and respecting each other. And, you don't have to respect my thoughts, but you will respect me. You don't have to like what I'm saying. But one thing I will not deal with is a person who will speak out of their mouth and say very derogatory, disrespectful things to me. And then, turn around and act like, oh, it's no big deal. Or then want to berate you and talk about you through other individuals. So there's a lot of different ways that speaking up can come out and about. And like I said, it can come out very positively. It can also be a very negative situation that you're dealing with. And what you talked about was absolutely, it was positive in the beginning. But then it was like you said, this individual thought that they could complain about something that wasn't even worth complaining. But there are some people in this world who believe they have the right to everything. And we call that white privilege. And we're just going to say it. Okay. This some of the world that we live in and have lived in. I've lived in it for 53 years. We see it every day. But then we also have the other side where we have in our Black communities where, we have the same tone, but in a different perspective, of the more rampage of, I'm going to cuss you out. I'm going to tell you this. You're not that or that's. There's things that are. It's just amazing how people just look at things in their own way and how they value things in their own way that are not always necessarily true. And I just think that at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that we have to look at color, and it's unfortunate that we are dealing in a world of color. But I don't know if I'll ever live long enough to see that there is no color and that we're just human beings and that we have a right to have an opinion, that we have a right to be able to speak up when somebody's doing something wrong. But the thing that I've even found when you're talking even with children today or kids, you have to be careful with anything that you say with kids or with other people. You don't know if they're going to come after you. I mean, everything is about, I think when I look at it and see it in my eyesight, in my view, people today are so happy. So, you say the wrong thing, they want to see you, or they want to come after you, they want to take your life away because you didn't agree with what they're doing or how they're handling it.
Right.
So this is a topic that, like I said, is very broad, and I kept it broad because it's a situation that, like I said, we could be talking about all night because there's so many different things that could be on your mind, and it's really how you handle it. And I think that's the whole full circle that I really wanted people to think.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Think about as they're listening to our conversation, our thoughts, our conversation is from what the things that we have lived with and have dealt with throughout our years of living. Like I said, I'm 53 and I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. And even though I will not treat people the way that I've been treated on many occasions, because that's just not who I am. That's not who I carry myself. I'm all about treating people the way I want to be treated. But we also have to be mindful that there are going to be people that we will always run into that will not treat us the way that we want to be treated. And you definitely have to know how to step up. You definitely you need to know how to stand up for yourself and tell that person when they are wrong, whether they like it or not. Now, you may lose a so-called friend or an acquaintance or whatever the case may be, but at least you know that what you were doing was the right thing to do, as long as you're doing it respectfully.
Yes. Well, it's just interesting, and I'll be really, really quick. With everything that you said, and I heard it loud and clear, but I want to say for our listeners out there, what I feel like is going on in our current society, and I say our society at large and our culture at large, not just within the Black community or within the white community, but within our culture as it exists today, there's this pervasive element of entitlement, where we feel like we deserve to be treated a certain type of way, or we deserve certain things, whether we work for them or not,
right?
Or we deserve a certain type of treatment, regardless of whatever, because of whatever arbitrary reason you can put in a blank. And I think that's what we, as a culture, as a society, we need to move past that feeling of entitlement. Yes, you deserve to be treated equally. Yes, we deserve to be treated with respect as individuals. But sometimes I think people get it twisted, that they think that somebody should be bowing down or treating them with the utmost regard. Like, no, if we're ever truly going to be equal, we have to respect one another's differences, but we also have to be able to respect the ways that we're the same and like move forward and just like one of the things that the guy from the Saturday kept saying was, I'm a customer and, I deserve to be able to speak the way I want to speak. But then he would also say, just like you're a customer, you deserve to say what you want to say. But at the same time, I'm like, but you're the customer. Your job is to come here. You come here and you get something to eat and then you leave. If your food is bad, you complain. If the restroom is nasty, you complain. If the condition of the restaurant is poor taste, you complain because it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
That's a whole health issue. But if it's just too warm in there for you, because you don't like the temperature after you've already been there over an hour, then leave.
Right, exactly.
That means you've outstayed your welcome, sir. Goodbye.
Right. And that type of complaining, that's where that privilege, because he kept saying, I'm a customer. Yes, you are a customer, but we also have the right not to serve a customer that we can't make happy. Because like I said, at the end of the day, there's 10, 15 other people in that place, and there could have been 100 people in that place. But if you have one person and they're complaining about that one little thing, it becomes just a personal issue that they're making out an issue that's really not an issue. And that's exactly what he was doing. And that's when that privilege and that attitude of, well, I'm a customer here. So basically he was letting that everybody know who he was at that moment. And because you stepped in, being the man that you are and seeing that what he was doing was wrong. And I'm sure that manager was fighting around in her mind and in her way, trying to stay respectful and, explain, like you said, she was explaining everything, but no matter what she was going to say, it was never going to be good enough for him.
Right.
Exactly. So you had to do what you had to do, and you handled it exactly the way it should have been handled. And the sad part about it is that, like you said, it was getting to the point where he was starting to berate the woman. It started to become more of a issue of race than it became more of the actual issue.
Right.
In hand. And that's where these types of problems start to happen. And so speaking up means speaking up on everything that you believe that is being done inappropriately, but just even speaking up, if it's something good, speak up, tell the person they did a good job. It doesn't have to just be negative, but like you said, we live in a world today where, people want instant, gratification for everything. They don't want to have to work for anything. It's my right. I want this, I want that. And, I guess for me, growing up in a time and era where, we truly believed in working hard, and we were always raised that you work hard, you get the things that you want, and you be respectful about it. We never had to be reminded that you will not act a certain way when you walk into a restaurant, or into a store or anywhere. We didn't have to be told, well, you're not going to have this privilege, if you don't act right. We already knew. Before you walked in there, you knew what time it was. Act up if you want to, okay? It's like, but the key is that I think a lot of it definitely starts from home. It's how people are raised, and there are people who truly believe that they just have the right, like you said, that they have the right to get what they want, and they're going to get it any way they want, no matter who they step on, no matter who they hurt, and how whatever it takes to get there. But at the end of the day, they may be happy for that moment, but I'm sure that person's got to be pretty miserable when you feel like every moment of your life and every minute of your life that you feel like you have to step on people and step on everything in order to be able to say, I'm going to speak up and I'm going to get what I want.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I want to say, I know that in our classes, when we're teaching fitness classes, one of the things that we learn is, or one of the things that I learned it somewhere along the way, and I share this with, I have a mentoring group, and I work with them, but my thing is, I don't know what your life is like outside of this classroom. I don't know whether you're having a good day, a bad day. I don't know what your life is like at home. And if somebody's doing something, I'll say incorrectly, because sometimes people have incorrect form. Mm-hmm. I don't chastise anybody. I use language that's very inclusive. Mm-hmm. And I try to use language that's affirming. And when I make corrections, like especially if I'm teaching a class where I have a microphone, I make corrections. I speak to everybody. Or sometimes I use myself as the example. Oh, look how I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. So people don't feel like they're being called out to say, oh, you, because we don't know what's going on in somebody's life when we don't see them outside of when we see them, or even sometimes when we do see them, because you don't know that her husband just got off the phone with her and he just cussed her out,
right?
Or he just got off the phone with his wife and she just finished cussing him out. Right. So we don't know.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and when we see people, we have to realize that we're seeing them in real time, every day, every time. And sometimes some people get a little what's the word? A little charge, I guess, in maybe berating somebody else, trying to take somebody else down a notch because they've been taken down 2 notches. Because what they say, misery deserves company.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we got to push past that. If that's your day and that's your life, I mean, you can get out of that. That's a different show. But we don't have to put our day on other people just because we're feeling some type of way about things. We're not entitled to people treating us a specific type of way. Now, technically, if they're in your employ, then that's your personal assistant, but you don't get to treat somebody like a dog.
Right?
I mean, worse than a dog, because many people, we treat our dogs like, my dog goes to doggy daycare and he got 3 coats. So I know I'm not treating my dog bad. But some people treat their dogs better than they treat people.
Than the human beings, exactly.
So it's just I guess it's just about if you're anyway. Let me just shut up. I'm going to be quiet because I'm about to say my moment of inspiration piece, but I'm going to save that. So never mind.
Okay. Well, yeah, and the key is like I said, our show, and I always want to remind people that our show is based on our opinions and the experiences that we have had. So we always like to share our experiences and talk about these topics specifically because we want people to really think. We want people to realize that we know there are some people who would absolutely resonate with who we are and what we do, and they're feeling the same way we're feeling. And we're giving you the opportunity to think about it, to share those feelings with somebody else instead of holding it in. Speak up. Tell that person what's really on your mind if there's something that needs to be said, because when you're holding it in, and eventually you're going to burst. And when you do burst, nobody knows what that outcome is going to be like, not even you. So, instead of feeling like that you have to be rude or arrogant or hateful about something, just talk about it. Share those experiences. You would be surprised how much you have in common with the person that you may think you have an issue with, or the circumstances you think you may be in. You find that you're not the only one who has that same circumstance or issue. So there's so many different variations of this. And like I said, we really wanted to bring this topic up because we just want people to understand that the world we live in today, it is changing every day. But it's up to each and every one of us to be able to stand on our feet and stand for what we believe in, stand for something that, when we see something is wrong, say something. That's all you got to do is say something. But you don't have to be rude about it. Be polite.
If you see something right, say something.
Exactly. If you see something right, say something. A lot of jealousy going on out here, she or he thinks she's something because they got this or that now. Stupidity. We all have control in our lives. We all have the desire to do certain things and want to do certain stuff. Do it. Nobody's stopping you but you. And we'll be talking about that topic soon in our next show. Yeah, we sure will be.
And by the way, we might have to speak up this whole topic and bring this up again. I feel like we got a whole other show that we could do like a part 2. Listeners, what y'all think?
I think so too. I think the listeners will agree with that. As a matter of fact, let me get a hand clap on that one. Yeah, buddy. I believe this needs to be a part 2. And then when we do part 2 though, I would definitely love to have some guests. So, we've been trying to invite others to be on the show. If you live in the DMV area, Mr. T, explain to them what the DMV area is.
DC, Maryland, and Virginia, not the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Thank you, sir. I just want to clear that up because,
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, we normally start that out at the beginning of our show, so I just want to bring that up. If you live in the Washington, D.C. metro area and you would love to be a guest on the Lady K and Mr. T show, Moments with Lady K and Mr. T, all you got to do is reach out to us. We got Facebook page of our whole platform. You can reach out to us individually. My name is Kimberly McLemore, and Mr. T is
Tarek Coles. You can find me on Gmail at tarekcoles@gmail.com, or you can message me on Facebook if you want. I'll have to friend you first, but it's Tarek Scott. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. I'm not married. Don't ask any questions.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna leave it alone. But anyway. So
and no, I'm not avoiding the government because they got my first, my middle, and my last.
Oh, you're so crazy. Anyway, but no, seriously, we really do want people to come on in our show. And if you have questions, if you don't want to come on the show, but you have a question for us, send it to our Facebook page, Moments with Lady K and Mr. T. Go get in there and ask a question, make a comment. We post as often as we can because this show right now is currently a monthly show, but next year it will be a weekly show. So be prepared, people. Let's start things rolling. If you have questions, reach out to us. But before we move on, because we're running a little over on our show, I definitely want us to talk about in our upcoming events because the month of July is going to be packed with events.
Yes, so much going on. Would you like to start first, Lady K?
No, sure. You go right on ahead, sir. Go right on ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take the bull by the horns, as they say. Mm-hmm. Really quickly, I'm going to hit a couple of events going in July. On Wednesday, July 3rd, which is this upcoming Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. at Gold's Gym Lake Ridge in Woodbridge, Virginia, we have Independence Day. Now, Independence Day, but Independence Day. And there's a wonderful instructor who teaches there. She's invited myself and another instructor to join her at Gold's Gym Lake Ridge in Woodbridge, Virginia. And you can go and Google the location. They are located in Dillingham Square. The drop-in fee is $5. We're just getting together for an hour to have a good time, dance it out, have some fun, party. I got some good tracks for y'all, so come on out. Also on the following day, Independence Day, there is another Independence Day going on, but it's Independence Day Endgame. Y'all know about their Endgame from watching the comics. On July 4th, one of my Zumba bros, Jason McLaurin, a.k.a. McJazzy J, he is the owner and operator of Muevelo DMV, located at 44710 Cape Court, Suite 128 in Ashburn, Virginia, 20147. He's having a wonderful event he's having some wonderful instructors join him. 5-star fellas, group therapy zone, Zumba with Chiquita, Champ Lifestyle Fitness, who has been on the Women's Resource for Your Success broadcast. Full Out Fitness and Muevelo DMV. They're going to be having a wonderful party. It's from 10:30 until 12:30. The drop-in fee is $10. You just come, have a good time, and enjoy yourself, dance it out with some wonderful instructors, and then you can have the extra hot dog or hamburger or that third plate if that's what you want, and enjoy the rest of your day. Also, kids under 12 are free. So you got little ones with you. You can bring them too. They'll be free. Also, for an event that I'm participating in September, Dancing is My Voice. I know I'm not skipping past October. I'm not skipping past August, and September. But July 8th, we are meeting at Seasons 52 in Tyson's Corner for a fundraiser for Dancing is My Voice 2019. Once again, it's at Seasons 52. It's a raffle. Tickets are available through Eventbrite. Tickets are free. Now, whatever you purchase while you're there to consume, or in any, whether you're imbibing it or you're eating it, you're going to pay for on your own. But it is a raffle, so there are some wonderful um, my brain, I said a brain freeze. There are some wonderful, yeah, I was like, oh, what am I saying? There are some wonderful prizes that are available through the raffle. So get your tickets now. Now, tickets are limited to 50 participants. That's 50. So you want to get those tickets now. You do not need to be present to win, but we do prefer that you come on out to be a part of that. That event I'll be talking about more in our next show. It's in September, on the September 28th, and it's a free outdoor event, but it is a fundraiser. Once again, tickets are available through Eventbrite, and it is a free event. And last but not least, I wanted to share on August 17th, which is a Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m., Hips Fitness is having an expo and school supply drive. This is their second annual event, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. It will be at Gold's Gym Elite Training Center in Woodbridge on Jefferson Davis Highway. Tickets are available through hipsfitness.com. That's hipsfitness.com. Move with T will be a part of that as well. There'll be fitness classes, kids activities, vendors, and even more. So if you're interested in being part of that as a vendor or participating in some other type of way, you can actually message her at register@hipsfitness.com or programs at hipsfitness.com. And I'm trying to think what else I got. I think I'm going to skip that last thing because I want to turn it over to you, Lady K, because you got some things that's going to be popping off.
Yeah, I got a couple things. It's going to be kind of crazy. Now, July is kind of nice and quiet for me, except for the fact that I'm traveling for a month. So, otherwise, that's probably enough going on. But as far as personally, when it comes to any events, I do have a huge event coming up on August 17th in Easton, Pennsylvania from 11 to 4. If you want to become an author, I'm going to teach you how to publish your own stuff. It's called self-publishing, people. I've been doing this for a while. So I'm a book coach. I'm a 3-time author and now an award-winning author. So believe me, I know what it takes in order to self-publish your own stuff. But this is really going to be a great event because it's not just going to be about me. We have 3 other amazing ladies that are going to be a part of this event. So we're actually doing a self-publishing entrepreneurial networking brunch. So from 11 to 4, right now we're still doing the early bird price, which is $65. You can find this link on Eventbrite, or you can actually go to Facebook. So the actual name of the event is Are You Living or Existing Self-Publishing Workshop and Entrepreneurial Networking Brunch. Again, that's in Easton, Pennsylvania. We're going to be at the Joyful Self Wellness Center at 1733 Washington Boulevard, Easton, Pennsylvania. And the cost of tickets right now are $65 until July 20th. After the 20th, it will go back up to the regular price of $75. August is right around the corner. We really need for people to start getting serious about this, get their participation. We're getting a lot of, I'm coming. But if the tickets aren't purchased ahead of time, you will not be able to attend the event because we have a ton of materials that are going to be given to you. We have food that we need to get in order because the networking piece is going to be ran by my wonderful friend who owns a business called Connects, and that's Miss Wandra Kane. So she's doing the networking brunch piece of it. We have an amazing VIP guest speaker from Triangle Social Media. She's going to be spotlighting on talking about marketing. Her name is Michelle Doficker. So please, if you're truly interested in coming, make sure you get your tickets now. July 20th is literally around the corner. We'll look up and it'll be over with. So if you want to get that $10 off, which is a nice chunk of change off from the $75, go ahead and get signed up. You're going to learn so much about what it means to be a publisher. About self-publishing. You're going to also learn about, I'm going to give you some small business tips. I'm going to teach you how to do a lot of little things that you wouldn't think about doing. We're even going to teach you how to transcribe your audio into text. So you got to come to the class in order to get all this good stuff. If you don't show up, you're going to miss out. But that's going to be on August the 17th from 11 to 4. That's the big thing I really wanted to talk about and share when it comes to the upcoming events. So now, because we're truly over with the show, we really want to, before we go away, I want you to talk about that moment of inspiration. that you wanted to bring up. Because what people don't understand, our moment of inspiration is about those people who need that, they're going through a rough patch, but need that little hug, need somebody to remind them, that good pat on the back that they are worthy and they're powerful and they have purpose. But I'm going to let you take this away, my dear Mr. T.
Well, thank you, Lady K. I appreciate that. Okay, well, I'm going to share this. It'll be brief and to the point. Probably the most brief I've been for our entire podcast.
Take it away.
Okay. Here we go. Don't speak to talk. Speak to be heard.
Say it again for me. Say it again, Mr. T.
Don't speak to talk. Speak to be heard.
Amen. If you guys don't understand our topic tonight, and for those who were not listening, you have missed a good show. But guess what? You can actually go back and listen to the replay. We are on iHeart Radio. We are on Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Twitter, you name it, we're there. You do not want to miss this show. The topic is phenomenal. We've been really honing in on some very deep conversations tonight. We have fun, but we're all about sharing our thoughts respectfully. And remember, speak up. That's the key here. But Mr. T, we've definitely come to the end of our show.
Yes, we have. And we've gone over time. We put a time limit on our show today.
Know, but you know what? When it's this good, you can't stop. You just got to keep going. And I always love spending time with my T.
And I love spending time with you, Lady K.
Yes, but as the saying says, we have to end the show for now. But remember, guests, we're here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. with WSBI. We love that WSBI gives us an opportunity to share our show on their platform. And like I said, look out for the future. We will have our own weekly show coming soon to you. But until next time, you all have a wonderful night. We'll be talking soon. Good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.